Hey y'all, it's Siobhan Muir. Welcome back to Cooking with Siobhan. So today we are doing something that's a little unorthodox.
A little different.
Yeah, a little different. So instead of making cookies, we are making an edible cookie bowl for the cookies that you've probably already made or you've bought somewhere. And then you put it together in this cookie bowl and you serve it to people. And then eventually if you run out of cookies, they can eat the bowl. Anyway.
I was wondering what we do with it.
You eat the bowl.
I'm like, okay, what happens when we run out of cookies on the inside? Then we just go, cool, like what?
Yeah, and it's a chocolate cookie bowl. And we're doing this gluten-free, of course, because if you're gonna have to eat the bowl in the end, you don't want to eat glutenated cookies. So, what do you need? You need 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Now this is where you can tell how old this recipe is. 1/4 cup blanched slivered almonds finely ground. You mean almond flour? So yes, you'll need 1/4 cup of almond flour. You'll need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of softened butter, 2/3 of a cup of sugar, which is over there, 1 egg, which is in the bowl, because we've learned, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then it said assorted cookies. It says special aids, a loaf pan, 1 1/2 inch cookie cutter with scalloped edges. So we're not gonna do a loaf pan, we're gonna do a round one. A loaf pan, it will be rectangular. We're gonna do a round cake pan. And then we have a cookie cutter set of scalloped edges, and we're gonna do the smallest. So the yellow.
Little yellow one.
Right. Makes 1 cookie bowl. Oh, you want to cover your pan with aluminum foil because you're going to build this bowl on the outside, right? And you want to spray it with cooking spray. That way it comes off when you're ready. The first thing you need to do in a medium bowl, you want to combine flour, cocoa powder, almonds, and salt. Normally I would put the sugar in here too, but you're gonna cream that with butter. 1/4 cup of blanched, slivered almonds, finely ground. All right. 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. And a whisk, please. Whisk it together so it's completely combined. Ta-da! Looks like just extended cocoa powder. Set it aside. In a large bowl, beat the butter, sugar, egg, and vanilla until light and fluffy. My guess is it's probably going to take 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, that'll be really light and fluffy. The last one I did, it was what, 5 minutes, and it was so fluffy. 4 tablespoons softened butter, 1 egg, 2/3 of a cup of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of glued on vanilla. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. All right, so about 2 to 3 minutes. Now mix until fluffy. It's fluffy. All right, and then it says preheat oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius. Add the flour mixture and beat until a dough forms, about 2 minutes. I would add a little at a time and a little at a time and a little at a time instead of just going woof. Don't do that. That one makes a mess and it makes it harder to mix it all kind of evenly. Yeah, that's good. And mix it slow. Go ahead and add some more. And I'm not going to use the beater, although it does say beat until rough dough forms. This is, at this point, beating dough like this is really good when you have it, when it's pretty wet, right? But when it starts getting thicker like this, because you have more dry than you have wet ingredients, it's almost better to use a spoon, a wooden spoon. All right. Now the whole point of it being this dry though is you want to make a really dry dough, because you're going to roll this out and cut it, and then you want it to bake as a, for lack of a better word, a shellac. That's what we're kind of making here. Because you're literally constructing an edible bowl. And this is why I really think it's better with a spoon, because the beaters aren't necessarily going to get all of this combined. At least I've never had any luck with it. Whereas a spoon can get it all mixed together until there's nothing dry and loose left. Now it does suggest that to keep the dough from becoming too dry, and with gluten-free dough you need to worry about this, they said use as little flour as possible when rolling this stuff out. And I probably won't use any, but we'll see. Okay, I think we have a pretty good dough. Okay. Now they say to roll this out into 1/8 of an inch. That doesn't look like a lot of dough, does it? We will see how this turns out. But if you want it to be relatively thin, I guess this could make a lot of dough. Or it could make a lot of cookies. You can make it as square as you like it. They did in the picture. It's not gonna matter, because you're gonna end up making little circles. So what you're gonna do with this is you're gonna make a whole bunch of those, right? And I would start from the top, maybe. And when you make these things, be sure to overlap them just enough.
We want them to be kind of imbricated so that the amount of space between them is very small. Nothing escapes.
Imbricated, good word.
Learned it from Dad.
Mm. Okay, so we got the bottom, right?
The holes are full. This is actually kind of fun.
It is.
It's texture too. Good thing is though, with this dough, we have not used any extra flour yet.
Nope. That's the nice thing about gluten-free dough, is it's usually pretty dry. That's looking cool. Now go ahead and press hard. It's okay. The idea is to make kind of a cool looking bowl, but in the end, it just has to stick together. All right, so let's bake our bowl. Look at that. Cover pan with cutouts, overlapping and pressing. We did that. Bake the cookie bowl until edges are firm, about 15 minutes. Transfer pan to a wire rack and cool completely. What we will do is we'll bake this thing for 15 minutes and we will set it aside. And then, so what you would normally do is bake another set of cookies, right? And you'll end up putting them in this bowl. But here's what I'm going to do. we're gonna decorate cookies that are already baked. One, they're gluten-free, and two, we can put the art on them as we like, and I don't have to make a whole other set of cookies. So, the good news is we have picked a good company for the gluten-free cookies. They're called Tate's, and they make some great gluten-free cookies. So, what we're gonna do though is we're gonna bake this thing.
Yeah.
15 minutes. Hopefully it'll still be together when it comes out. We'll see in a little bit. So this side is what it's supposed to look like. In the oven, it decided to crack and disappear. Now, this is not actually a loss because pieces of the cookie you can still eat as cookies, but we
Had a lot of fun.
have cookies we can add to the cookie bowl. The neat thing about how this broke is that it broke in a way that makes it easy to show off the cookies. And it actually turns out to be kind of a cool artsy display too. So if you want to, now when they dry, they won't smear anything. Then you can stack them, but it kind of looks like,
So it doesn't smear. That's why. That's why I moved it, not because people shouldn't see it.
they've actually dried pretty
Yeah.
well. So this is actually could be, you know, your bowl ended up in a Halloween graveyard and it crumbles because of age and out spill the goodies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Salesperson.
And then of course you have plenty of other ones to enjoy. And I have to thank my assistants for their great artistic stuff. The stuff that looks like done by a little kid was actually me, though the really cool ones were done by the other artists in the family. I'm the baker. Listen, I get this stuff put together. But anyway,
We had a lot of fun.
we had a lot of fun, and you know, the simple ghosty. Ta-da. So yeah, you can totally fill your cookie bowl, even if it breaks. It's not a complete loss. You're still gonna be able to eat it. You're still gonna be able to enjoy it. You can make it, if you want to, you can do old Roman ruins. I mean, it turns out to be really cool. So yeah, gluten-free no less. Not bad. So thank you for joining us. Definitely ring the bell to know when new videos come up, and subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment on the video, tell us what you did. Tell us if you had better luck. Mine fell apart, but maybe it was just too big. Maybe it's better to do it in more of a smaller size and then it holds together better. Maybe it's better, they said an 1/8 of an inch. Maybe roll it a little thicker. Maybe that'll keep it together a little better. And of course then you would need a smaller container. But yeah, let us know what you try. Also, sign up for Patreon because Patreon helps me as the baker and the author, and you get extras that you don't get on YouTube and don't see on other social media sites. And that's patreon.com/Siobhan Muir, and you are more than welcome to join me. Pick the tier that feels right for you, and join us for the fun and exciting things, especially at this time of year. Which I'm still blown away by how good you guys decorated these things. Actually turned out really cool. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. Happy making, happy baking, happy eating, and happy reading. Bye.